Hello guys, it's me. Hi, I'm back. I made it. Also, I went for a brighter aesthetic today. Can you tell? Hello, my name is Daniel, and welcome to my second episode in this series of how to houseplant. And we're going to be talking about the Pink Princess Philodendron today. Everybody wants the Pink Princess. Everybody wants the Pink Princess. I'm going to give it to you. Okay, let's just go. Let's just keep moving. Oh, and I forgot we have a sponsor. I'm not used to getting those. So the sponsor for this episode, and pretty much the sponsor for this entire series, is the Facebook page Plants Across America. Now, I love this page so much that I bugged them until they let me be a moderator. But basically, it's just a collector's dream, pretty much. You can buy, sell, trade, and overall, it's just a really good community of positivity. If you're a collector, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find the plants that you're looking for on this page. There's a link in the description box below if you would like to join. You may be asking yourself, I love the pink, but why is it pink? And to be honest with you, I ask myself that question as well. And we're just going to have to keep asking because I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. It's like asking someone, wow, your eyes are beautiful. Why are they blue? So let's do the origin story, or how the plant was founded. Found or founded? I'm not on it today. All right, so let's talk about the origin story, because I thought that was extremely interesting, and I apologize for leaving that out in my previous video. I kind of want to structure this a little bit differently. Okay, so philodendrons have been collected since like the 1600s, but the only one to successfully bring back plants was a French botanist named Charles Plumier, but he looks rough, like he's seen some shit. So when he took this journey, he decided to go to the islands of St. Thomas in Martinique, Hispaniola. I don't know. I can't pronounce things. On his trip, he successfully brought back about 6 different tropical plants. But at this time period, though, they didn't have the classification system that they do now. So they kind of just took these tropical plants, and they weren't called philodendron. No one really had a name for any of these types of things because there wasn't really the funds to go explore and then create a classification system. Anyway, they classified these as a term called Arum, A-R-U-M, which is basically the term that they use in the past is the same thing that we use in the present for Aroid. It's just they're Aroids. That's kind of like an older term that kind of evolved. To be honest with you, I've actually heard both terms, but I've just heard Aroid way more than Arum. As you may have guessed it, a Pink Princess Philodendron was one of the 6 plants that he brought back from the islands. Okay, so I'm sliding in the classification table that I found off of Wikipedia, because that's the boring part. The exciting part is the versions / hybrids / varieties that we're getting into now. All right, so the technical term for a Philodendron Pink Princess, and here I go again with my pronunciation, is a Philodendron erubescens. Erubescens is the species of the plant, and a Pink Princess is a variety of Philodendron erubescens. And there's several other varieties, and this is kind of the part that blows my mind. Why haven't I known this? I kind of like some of them better than a Pink Princess, if you know what I'm saying. So one of the varieties of the Philodendron erubescens is called a red emerald. Now, this picture, when I hear red emerald, I immediately thought that it was just going to be like a Pink Princess, except the pink was going to be red, which I would have thought was way cooler. But it's got white variegation on the leaves, and then the reason that they're calling this the red emerald is because the petiole is extremely red. Party's in the back. Excuse me. Is the party back there? Take this with a grain of salt because I found several things on this specific plant. But this one, another variety, is called the Blushing Iridescens. And it's essentially just like a neon version. I can see that, I feel like it looks like someone took a picture of a plant and then just turned the saturation down on the image because it looks neon, which some neon plants I kind of like, some I don't. This one, I just kind of feel like it looks a little chlorotic, so I have a problem with that. All right, next version of the iridescens is called an Emerald Queen, which it just kind of looks basic. Now this next version is the one plant that I would get. I actually want this more so than a pink princess, and this is called the Philodendron Painted Lady. I saw this picture and I immediately thought about a strawberry limeade from Sonic. I like this one better. I know this one has a little bit of speckled variegation mixed in with it as well, and it's got different color leaves. Anyways, this plant, it's a cross between an Emerald Queen and a Burgundy iridescens, which I forgot to include in these varieties section, but I'm going to assume you're probably not missing that much. Before we move on to the next section, I want to take this and ask you guys your opinion, because I'm genuinely a little baffled here, because I just showed you all of these other varieties, and I kind of think that the varieties, I think they're beautiful. The Painted Lady's beautiful, and the Red Emerald is pretty awesome, but I'm also the kind of person that would buy a plant just for the stems. And last week we talked about, some plants have a fuzzy petiole. I am into those types of things because I like looking at the plant as a whole, and I know a lot of people want the beautiful aesthetic of a big, hearty, heart-shaped leaf, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my question to you is, why Pink Princess and not all of these other ones? Because the Pink Princess, it's booming right now. It's been for a little while. So I want to know why you guys like that one. Please put that in the comments down below. And why are we not obsessing over these other versions? How to care for a Pink Princess. I'm not going to lie. I found mixed reviews while I was doing my research, and I found different ways to care for this plant. So the care tips that I want to go over with you are the correct ones. Needless to say, and this is going to go for a lot of aroids, put it in bright, indirect sun. I saw a lot of reviews saying that if you really want your Pink Princess philodendron to do amazing, then stick it out in direct sun in the morning, put it in indirect shade throughout the day, and then put it back out in direct sun in the evening while the sun is starting to go down, and it is going to get so much sun. Don't do that. We all know that the midday sun, where it's just beaming down on your plant, is going to kill this plant. It's going to dry the leaves up. It is going to be as crispy as a chip. You feel me? That was good. I want some more. So as for watering and soil, which I think I'm going to group watering and soil together now going forward. I had it separately because I wanted to show you my Aroid mix, but I'm just going to have all of that in the description box below. If you want to buy the components of the Aroid mix, I'll just have all of the links down there for you every single time. Or if you just want to go back to the very first episode of this series, you can do that also. It likes wet feet. Pretty much the same as last week. You're going to know this is a good going trend for aroids. That's just kind of what you have to focus on, keeping this plant moist. You don't let it, I wouldn't let it dry out, because consistent watering is going to be what this plant needs. If I'm sure if you miss a watering, it's fine. But I've noticed, especially with my plants, that if you let them dry out for a very long time, or if you don't water them when they actually need it and you just sporadically do it, then they actually kind of start to not do well. Humidity. That is probably going to want to stay between 50 to 80%. Honestly, I am not going to lie. I took this information from Kaylee Ellen, our Lord and Savior in the houseplant world, and her DEFCON level is 50% humidity, and her plants are doing amazing. So that's what I would recommend, because I don't let my houseplant room go below 60, but emergency levels is going to be 50%. That's when things are going to start making a change, if you know what I'm saying. So propagation is something that we didn't talk about in my previous video, and I actually meant to, so I apologize about that, but we're going to talk about it today. So there's actually two different ways that you can kind of propagate from a pink princess philodendron, and either one works fine. That's completely up to you. So the first one that we're going to talk about is just like taking a top cutting. As long as the top cutting has a couple of leaves and, just to be safe, a couple of nodes. And I would like to stress, when you're cutting in the internodal spacing, try to leave a decent amount of room evenly in between nodes upon snipping. That way, whenever you're propagating, if you somehow do manage, and it's common, it happens to all of us, if you get rot on the very tip of that plant while you're trying to propagate this, you can snip that without sacrificing the node. Because once you sacrifice the node, you don't have a plant anymore. So that's why I recommend 2 nodes for double the safety, and then that little extra long chunk of internodal spacing to help you. Now, the second way of propagating, sometimes, if you're lucky, and some people do, your pink princess philodendron is going to start propagating itself, and you'll have little pink princesses growing either out of the ground, or I've seen them even growing in between the internodal spacing. You can either snip those off, or you can just make sure you carefully separate them and make sure that there's a node. And honestly, that's one of the easiest ways to do it. You can root these up in water. You can put them in sphagnum moss or soil. For being completely honest here, sphagnum moss might be the safest option, but water is going to be the fastest option. Anyways, guys, that's all that I have for today's video. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot to me, because I put a lot of work into these, and the amount of research and filming and editing, it's really intense. So I really hope that you do like them, and just make sure you send positive vibes to everyone in the comments and on the page. And if you are new here and you're just joining the page, we welcome you with open arms, my white and pasty arms. Anyways, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.